Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om 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 Nithyananda
Nityanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarayitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, welcome to the Nithyananda Rudra show. My name is Srinitya Rajananda, and today we're going to talk about a special topic for all seekers, spiritual seekers, yogis, and anyone who wants to learn about Hinduism. And I always thought that Hinduism had a little bit of an edge on science, or the modern science that we know about. May be curious about how Hinduism has known a lot of these things already. All of you and all of us actually are seekers. It is the best time in the world right now to be a seeker. That is what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism said in a 2011 satsang, where he discusses about super DNA. Yes, today we're going to be talking about this awesome topic about how you can awaken the strands of your DNA, where even going beyond the understanding of the 2-strand DNA and knowing that there are 12 strands. This may be something baffling to you, but beautifully, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism just takes the scientific theories and scientific understandings and explains it to us, but tells us that he's interested in giving us an experience and telling us that do this, you'll experience the breakthrough. If you're a seeker, do this and you will be able to experience the awakening of this strand or this type of genetics. And this is the way that Swamiji has given it as a science to all of us, as something that is livable in our day to day. What happens when we cognize that we are consciousness? What happens after we are initiated and the Kundalini awakening happens? When all of these things are manifest in our lives, what are we getting ourselves into? What is it that we are going to be learning, and what is it that we are going to be able to express as far as powers or extraordinary abilities? So let us take a look at the first clip that we have for you to share about where Swamiji talks about various researches about this particular super DNA understanding and how Hinduism has always discussed this. And the beautiful thing is Swamiji has brought it all out to the world. So let us take a look at the first clip for you.
I have something about indigo children, so that you understand the super DNA. See, children born throughout the history of humanity to raise the frequency of the planet and human consciousness, having more than 2 strands of DNA, active DNA, are called indigo children or rainbow children, crystal children. There are 3-4 names. Please understand, throughout the history, the kids are born. When they are taking birth, something extraordinary is in them. And now science is proving clearly more than 2 strands of DNA is active in them. They are called indigo kids, and throughout the history there are references, these indigo kids were there. The core human DNA imprint is built on 12-strand structure, which says human form was designed to embody 12 dimensions of conscious awareness. I always used to talk about these 11 dimensions. The 12th is the Shiva state. We can have our own brand name, Nithyananda state, whatever. Fully awakened, Shiva consciousness. Please understand, these are the Shastra Pramanas, means the eternal truths revealed by modern day rishis. Then I will add my understanding about these 12 strands, human body, and 2 strands being active, more than 2 strands being active in kids, and how it happens. It's from a scientist and researcher, Cheryl Kakshialansa. The junk DNA or a dormant DNA activation is a tremendous gift to accelerate the spiritual awakening of collective consciousness on the planet. This is a quotation, means some research from that person. A person with 2 strands of DNA with only 1 strand active is like a computer with access to only 16 MB RAM memory. Can run only few programs. Once the DNA is activated, it's like giving internet connection. You can access anything by intent and intuition. Please understand, these are not my words. These are the collections from different researchers and discoveries. The dormant DNA activation level controls your frequency. Every time when a DNA is activated, you download higher consciousness from soul, identity, and attract people, places, events of similar high frequency. Again, it may look like my words, it is not my words. What I am going to add is my words. These are exact quotations I am reading out from different scientists and people who are specialists in this field, researchers. DNA activation not only has an effect on the individual, but this change will affect the individual's ancestors, 3 to 5 generations in the past as well as 3 to 5 generations in the future. This is one of the important revelation. In the Sannyas Upanishads, there is a very clear mention. If one person takes sannyas and elevates his consciousness, sannyas is nothing but awakening the different layers of your DNA. It says very clearly, Munned Janmatirkum, Pinned Janmatirkum, Piravikkadan Tirthan, Bermagan, Nittargadan Sannyasi. It's the exact translation I am giving you from the Tamil Vedantic scriptures, like Kaivalya Navanitam in all these literatures. So that says, when somebody takes sannyas and raises his frequency, please understand, not the after 7th generation of you. Don't think only the after 7th generation, not just after 7th generation, before 7th generation, who passed away, who left the body, their frequency is raised. It's a very tricky thing. But scientists are saying, I will comment on this, and then you will understand what they meant by this. Munned Janmatirkum, Pinned Janmatirkum, Piravikkadan Tirthan, Nittargadan Nirta Sannyasi. See, the exact meaning of this word is that as long as you are a grihastha, you are a married person, you are bound to do shraddha for the elders. So you have to, every month on the Amavasya day, you are supposed to offer the Pitru Darpana. Every year, the Tithi on which he passed away, they left the body, you are supposed to give all the traditional offerings. So the biggest argument is, if you become sannyasi, you cannot do this Nittar Kadan. Means your debt to the ancestor who left the body. So the Grihasthas argue, there is a sin, so you should not become a sannyasi. For that, it's called Prashnottara Malika. Means the question is asked by a disciple, master answers. In that Prashnottara Malika, this concept is discussed. So the answer Guru gives is this line, which I said. Munnelu janmattirkum, binnelu janmattirkum. See, once you become sannyasi and raise your consciousness, you have done the Nittar Kadan. Nittar Kadan means you paid the loan, the debt of the ancestors for front 7 and back 7. I always used to think, a backside 7 we can understand, because now we are elevating the consciousness, so naturally it is affecting the planet Earth and collective consciousness and all the people, next generation. Naturally, all the people from the family I am born and brought up, all of the family, whether my brothers or my cousin sisters and all of them, the whole family is naturally now thoroughly impacted by me. So naturally all their consciousness will carry the idea of me. I hear many times some of my uncles' kids and all, they say that I will go away with Swamiji, I will be with Swamiji, and they dress like me, or they talk like me, they try to do puja like me, or they try to behave like me. Even my own sister's, cousin sister's son, 2-3 kids, they try to ask, when can I become Swami like you? So they are thoroughly impressed. This we can understand logically. But how can the past 7 generation? It's possible. I'll explain how that is possible.
Yes. The supreme pontiff of Hinduism is bringing out all of the parts of Hinduism as something that we can use and have as a user-friendly lifestyle for us. For example, sannyas that Swamiji is sharing. You can right now engage in the lifestyle of sannyas with Sri Kailasa. If you are interested, there is a QR code and the link below. You can go and register for sannyas and immediately start living these principles. It is a beautiful time that is spent for yourself to explore yourself, and especially what Swamiji is sharing is when you declare sannyas and have the lifestyle, the possibility of raising your consciousness and the consciousness of generations sideways, backwards and forwards will all be blessed. And that is the way, even if you just hear how Swamiji beautifully ended, just by having Swamiji in the family, the kids around have the possibility that there is a possibility to be out of the whole matrix, a possibility to be absolutely
Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham.
Yes, sorry for the technical glitch, but I hope the audio is fixed right now. The beautiful way that Swamiji shares that our DNA is very connected, and just by Swamiji gives another example in the same satsang that if a person has taken sannyas and has raised their consciousness, then that raised consciousness gives the possibility of all of us also. For example, our ancestors few generations before us, if one of them had a higher level of consciousness or lived in a higher realm of consciousness, then that impacts the DNA and it comes to us, and out of the blue we may be making decisions that are so for our spiritual life, for living which Swamiji, or maybe even just taking this lifestyle of sannyasa. So it is thanks to even the ancestors and their decision to raise their consciousness and just put that whole system inside the DNA. So yes, it has an impact, and when a sannyasi takes that, he just awakens the DNA, and then the DNA of all of the ancestors is also awakened. All of the strands are also there. So yeah, it is a connection. Explain how the DNA continues beyond death, and that is what we have as a connection with the Pitru Loka. These are not lokas that are somewhere above us. They are literally all around us and surrounding our very nature. So they are very much even involved in the very DNA strands that we have inside of us. And when we do our conscious upliftment, it affects our generations and the DNA of those of our ancestors and even of those who may come after us. And that is the possibility that comes. And when you take sannyas also, you take the initiation, you also have the blessing to do the final offering on all the loans and the debt that comes from having to attend to the DNA of the ancestors and continue and have it healed through the offering of Pitru and the Darp and Tarpana and Shraddham, through these rituals. Then by offering we are as sannyasis, we are finally liberated from having to even offer these, because ultimately when the person takes sannyas, they have literally liberated themselves and all of those who are connected to them through their DNA. And Jnanamaya Priyananda is also asking how to make people realize this truth in their lives so they live the absolute and ultimate Maharaj. So how can you live the truth in your life? Actually, the next clip that Swamiji talks about takes it to a practical level, and that is the way that Swamiji is teaching throughout this particular satsang. So let's take a look at the next clip that we have for you.
Your eyes has 100% capacity to see inward also the same way it can see outward. I'll work on the Indigo kids and prove you don't need any diagnostic machines on the planet Earth. You need only the ability to see in to diagnose anything in your body. Nothing else is required. Just you should be able to see in, that's all. If you are able to see in of you, you can see any body in. That is the way Sushruta, Charaka, all of them diagnosed. Otherwise, how do you think? Our guys are able to do all kinds of medical things. It's possible. So I have some more researches, but first I will finish one by one. So I have brought some 3-4 important truths today. I'll first talk one after another. First thing, children born throughout the history of humanity to raise the frequency of the planet that have more than 2 strands of active DNA. They are called indigo children. Fortunately, after the 60s and 70s, the 60 rebels and 70 hippies, most of them were indigo children. Please understand. The 60 rebels, 70 hippies. The 60s there is a huge rebel movement started. The 70s there is a huge hippie movement started. Many of them were indigo children. Unfortunately, the society is so cunning, so frozen, unable to accommodate them, labeled them as negative and push them aside. And they are made to negative, nothing else. And recently, after 90s, enormous amount, please understand, the guys who are working on this line, they are saying something like a 40 times more kids than the 60s and 70s are taking birth whose DNA is more than 2 strands active. Please understand. Huge number of kids whose DNAs are active more than 2 strands. Means the multi-dimensional kids are taking birth. Please understand. This is a solid proof, a huge uplifting in human consciousness is happening. I tell you, this is the best time to be in planet Earth. Best time to be in planet Earth. Especially this 2012 to 2020, I am seeing a miraculous happening. Just yesterday I declared, 2020 whole year, I have decided I am going to spend walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir with 10,000 sannyasis. Let it be on record. See, 2012, levitation for 10,000 people at a time. And 2020, 10,000 sannyasis walking from Kanyakumari to Kashmir. Between these two happening, I know what all is going to happen. Human consciousness is going into a big shift of the higher consciousness. The 2012 is really going to be a happening year. Great positive happening year. So the amazing number of kids, indigo kids happening on the planet Earth. And today I am declaring our Gurukuls will specialize the science of making indigo kids as a full-blown incarnations. So we will take up, and already we have created, now we are taking up a full-fledged infrastructure and facility specially dedicated to indigo kids. So we will work specially on indigo kids so that they will become a full-blown incarnations, full-flowered incarnations. By the time they become 21. By the time they become 21, they should be full-blown incarnation. And another one important thing, the core human DNA imprint is built on 12-strand structure. Means it can radiate, it can embody 12 dimensions of conscious awareness. I think I have spoken on this 11th dimension in a very detailed way. I may not spend much time on this 11th dimension. The 12th is the ultimate Shiva consciousness which can't be described. When you experience the 12th, you are an incarnation. That's all. So, there is a second truth. I want you to know the third truth is, I think I already read out, the person with 2 strands of DNA is only with a 16 MB RAM memory. And the DNA structure is activated. Once the DNA is activated, it's like giving internet connection. You can access anything by intent and intuition. So all other things as I read out. First I wanted to explain how to, because that is my unique thing, how to activate more than one DNA strand in you. Because most of the human beings have only one DNA activation. When you become a seeker, ready to take the risk of renouncing the sensual pleasure for something which you don't understand, the second DNA gets awakened. Second strand DNA gets awakened. Practically all of you, second strand DNA gets awakened. Because even for 1 month, if you have just 2 meals and taking bath twice a day and not having sex for something which you are not really tangible enough now. See, at least none of you have any tangible idea why you are doing that. Maybe you have that trust over Apta Pramana. Oh, if this guy is enlightened and this is what enlightenment, I would like to have it. That's all. That's all is the reason why you are eating twice a day and taking bath twice a day and abstaining from the sex and abstaining from all pleasures and everything. So this proves very clearly your second strand DNA is already awakened. How to awaken the next level strand DNAs? Understand? I'll give you exact that how. I don't want to use the old words. If I use the old words, you will say, oh, I know about it, it's okay. I tried it, not working out, so I am not going to be, I will not be able to awaken the third strand of DNA. No, you can. You can. Please understand. Remember who you are really. Remember who you are really. So naturally, like a lump you will feel, one part is that identity which you are showing to the world. Then one part will say, no, this is not, because this changes. I myself can convince myself to change the identity which I am projecting to the world in half an hour and can change it into another one. Is it not? See, sometimes when you are not able to maintain that identity, or when that identity gives you suffering, in half an hour, one cycle of time, one circle of time, the 21 minutes, you sit and talk to yourself and change it. Is it not? Then how can you be that? Not. It's liquid. It's changing. How can that be the me? No. Then what is me? What is me? In few minutes, naturally, you will feel there is some point in which you are cornering you. What is me? A kind of a silent awareness for a few seconds. Then what will happen? Because you are not able to be in the pressure of cornering you, it just gets bumped. It goes away to some subject or object, or it goes away something, and this idea gets lost. Means the third DNA, third strand DNA you are touching, but it is kicking you back. Hey, get out, don't come here. I am not interested in waking up now. I want to sleep a little more time. That is where you need seeking. Telling, no, I am not just going to build my body, I am going to build my DNA structure.
Yes, beautifully we've seen the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism share about the awakening of the strands of DNA, and we have beautiful sharings from people. Sundareshan Babu, Om Namah Shivaya, Nithyanandam, welcome. Ashish Rana, blessed are those who enjoyed Swamiji's breathing space. Yes, being in that breathing space is something that you can just immediately have the initiation for, and you will just be able to know from the breathing space of that person itself that that person is from Swamiji, is a person that has been initiated from Swamiji. And Jane Schilling is asking, can we get more strands of our DNA activated, and how and what does it do to us? How to explain simply to others? Thank you. I think one of the ways that we can learn about how even activating it is that it keeps us at an anti-aging effect. Even that is one of the things that you may be able to even celebrate. Because as Swamiji is sharing, you must be able to keep that seeking alive for yourself. And when it does that, you're always looking for how you can get something out of life, or how you can imbibe something from something in front of you. Never at any point of life, whether you're hitting your 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s, you'll feel that you're gone. Life is over. That there is something still yet to learn. Life has in store for me. This kind of an excitement, this kind of a seeking that Swamiji is mentioning here is what is required. Having that very attitude will move us from the second strand to the third strand. Of course, Swamiji also is recommending the lifestyle itself. The lifestyle is so important in awakening the next levels of our DNA. Why is that? Because we have to come out of this way the matrix is able to say that you have to have this much hours of sleep, you have to have this much hours of working, you have to have this much amount of food, just reducing that by a little bit, waking up a little bit earlier and having little less food, maybe practicing the intermittent diet that many people are following nowadays, that Hinduism has been practicing and has been recommending since age old. Practicing just a 2 meal a day, when the sun is out, when the sun is not out, don't have food, let the body eat itself. In that way, all of these techniques help really cleanse. Many people are finding benefit from it now, but there has been a practice in Hinduism showing that Hinduism is literally the greater science, showing so many solutions are there in Hinduism on how to overcome the small problems that we have, whether it is tiredness or less energy, or boredom. And this is the way that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is giving the two practical solutions of doing yoga, of the lifestyle itself, waking up in the morning and having 2 meals, and of course the vegetarian diet. These are all practical ways to do the actual work of awakening the next level of DNA. But the second thing is keeping the seeking alive. Yes, this is something that Swamiji has shared is the very work of the incarnation. You may be curious to find out that the work actually can happen on its own once the creation is done. He beautifully shares an example in the upcoming clip about how the whole comes to anugraha. When it comes to liberating us, he has to come and be the example. He has to come and show how it is to express all the 12 strands of our DNA and express our full potential. It is now during the Paramashivoham program that people are exploring all of these topics that people have, celebrate Home. At the end, we have the beautiful darshan, Raja, the form of Paramashiva, the ultimate science that you have excited to learn about, but also the ancient wisdom of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. And that is the way you can even understand the darshan tonight. It is just, you can even see how the modern science has taken the Nataraja deity form and applied it to their, and literally icon, made it an icon or a symbol of their science by putting the deity in their buildings or putting the deity in their various parts of it. You say that Nataraja and the symbolism that he represents is very important to them. But people don't understand that the deity itself is so powerful. We'll get to know more about the darshan, more about what's going to be happening a little later in today's segment. But let's watch another clip where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is seeking specifically how he will his purpose in our lives and how we should do as much as we can to keep our seeking alive. Yes, let us watch the clip.
I tell you, with seeking, that will get into your DNA structure. With awareness, when you lift the weight, feel the tremendous pressure, not pain. Understand? When you are with awareness, it will never be a pain. It can only be called as pressure on your muscles and system. With that heavy pressure, but decide, no. I feel by this lifting, I'll change my DNA structure because Swamiji has told I am going to do that. With awareness, with seeking, go on doing which your muscle does not want to do. This is one point I am telling you. I am giving you the tips on how these ideas can become your experience step by step. Step by step. I am not interested in poetic theories. I am interested in practical how to. I am telling you exactly how to. Later on I will give you the poetic theories. Oh, when your 12-strand DNA is awakened, you feel like Andal and Meera, sing like Kabir and dance like Chaitanya. I can sing that poetic song. No, I am not interested. I am talking like Swatmarama. I am not talking like Chaitanya or Meera. No, I am talking like Swatmarama. Means how? If you go and tell in front of Swatmarama, when the 12 strands is awakened and you sing like Meera, you dance like Chaitanya, you sit like Buddha, he may just straight away throw a stone on you and say, come on, tell me how. Don't go on be teasing me. Tell me how. So now I am talking like Swatmarama. I am not talking like some poet. No. I am not talking like Bauls and Sufis. No. I am talking like Swatmarama. Bauls and Sufis, if you see the whole tradition, it is nothing but go on singing the glory of all the 12 strands of DNA awakened. Okay, who says no? I understand. If all the 12 strands of DNA is awakened, the whole body will feel like honey. I understand. Tandadu yendanai, kondadu undanai, saduraru yargolo, arunachala. I understand. I gave me, but I got you. Means I gave up the body with 2 strands of DNA awakened and I got the body with 12 strands of DNA awakened. And who is intelligent? I am the intelligent. Okay, all these things. But how? So come on to the how. The how is first step. See, who am I? The lump of the identity and lump of the identity which negates the identity. These two are you as on now. Please understand. If I use the example of this apple, this part which you are seeing is what you are showing to the world, this part which you are not able to see, is the part which has ability to change this part. You understand? When this part has some suffering, or when this part is not trustworthy, this part takes over and changes this part. You understand? So see, which is the part which has the ability to change this part. So you will see this part, the unknown part of you, has the ability to reason with this part and alter, transform, change within 21 minutes. That is why you are able to get out of depression or get into depression. The possibility for getting in or getting out exists. Because there is some part of you which has the ability to change what you think as you. You understand? So now, if that can be changed, how can that be you? No, it cannot be. Is it not? Then dig, who is that me? Who is that me? Whenever you are thrown out, again without repenting, dig. With intense seeking. No. I am clear. I am going to awaken the extra higher strands of DNA. If you feel, no, that is not that inspiring. Who knows what is 12 strands, DNA and all that. Then at least see, here is a person whose all strands of DNA is awakened. What game he is playing, what life he is living, how he is. Then take this as an inspiration and push yourself. That's all. I tell you, intense seeking simply awakens at least 4 to 5 strands of DNA. Nothing else. Nothing else. You don't need any sadhana. Just intense craving. See, the intense craving suddenly makes this apple grow into 3-4. It's like that seed becoming a simply 4-5 apples. Like one stem cell becoming 2-3. Same way, it just becomes many. So slowly the identity which you are showing becomes a superficial small part of you. It is no more half of you, it is half of you. Not half of you, it is half of you. Understand? It is not that I do not have identity which I am showing to you all. It is not half of me, it is half of me. The identity which you are showing to the world, if it is half of you, you are man. If it is half of you, you are God. It's not that that will not be there in you, but it will be half of you. So activating this more strands of DNA, the moment I said seeking, you think, oh, I know it, Swamiji finally will bring it on end here only. No, you do not know seeking. That is why you are feeling bored. If you know seeking, there will not be boring. There will not be boring. There will not be boredom. Seeking means exploring new. Even the hen or chicken which is poking at the garbage will not get bored. If it has an inspiration, it will find some worms as a food. Only if that guy is very sure he is not going to find anything, he will be bored. So you can't be very sure you will not find anything, because there is a person sitting in front of you who found something. And naturally, how much ever you deny, you are not able to deny that subject. You can deny everything. You can deny there is no DNA on the planet Earth. You can deny there is no seeking on the planet Earth. You can deny there is no enlightenment on the planet Earth. You can deny there is nothing of this, who am I, all these things on the planet Earth. You can deny everything. But you can't deny one fact, there is somebody who is little more than what I am. So at least hold on to that and go on poking. There will not be boredom. There will not be boredom. biggest job, I can say biggest job on the world, on the planet Earth, is keeping the seeking alive. And one more thing, after the 12th is awakened,
freshness with which Swamiji is bringing out this whole science. It is so exciting because you have to always cognize and always be in a humbleness, to always be ready to receive from life, especially when you have Swamiji in your life who's constantly sharing with us, and Paramashiva through him is constantly sharing the new you may have watched, but again and again seeing it, you'll see how multidimensionally Swamiji speaks. He does not just speak to one person at a particular time frame in a particular date to this. That is not the way. The way you can see is how timeless his message is, how it will just resonate no matter where you are, which part of the world you are, and when you're watching the video. It can click, and that is just the phenomena of an incarnation. When through all the dimensions, through time and space, you can just continuously be in touch with him and connect with him and know. So yes, Jnanamaya Priyananda is sharing, yes, life is constantly new. Yes, it is absolutely the truth. The expression of Swamiji that you have to have the seeking alive. There is always something to learn. There is always something to understand and imbibe as something new. As no matter what age you are, there is always something you can change inside, something you can grow out of, and something you need to and move on. That we should embrace life completely, seeking alive. All of that is only required. And beautifully, he even gave a technique. I think Janie Schilling is asking, example that she's asking. So you can say that just when you are doing the workout, as Swamiji said, you have to have the cognition that it is not that you are doing the workout to have a physique, rather to have a physiology of an enlightened person. The very DNA of all of the enlightened person should be awakened inside of you. That should be the cognition. And at the moment, he's even told exactly the moment you should even cognize this, is when you feel the pressure of the weight pulling it down, the gravity of the weight in front of you. At that very moment, you should lift and change your cognition of why you are doing what you're doing. No longer is the working out going to be something that is done out of violence or out of body shaming or trying to achieve a body image. It is going to be done to physically induce the higher and powerful cognitions into our very DNA. And that is the way that Swamiji has practically given us the technique. And you can see that in the Paramashivoham program, in the yoga itself. When you do the Nityananda yoga, especially the Dvitiya Vinyasa Krama, you can really understand how all the 12 components of you, like you're learning how to be using your visualization, your verbalization, your breathing, the ability to hold and lift your hold the various ways the prana flows inside of you, the way to hold your body, the bandhas, and the mantra chanting. All of these are all incorporated inside the yoga to be able to give you this very experience that will awaken your different DNA strands. And this practical way is already practiced in the very ecosystem of Kailasa in the Paramashivoham program. It is actually right now for free for all of those who are new and don't know. For the 4-month period, all of us are celebrating that Swamiji has come out and the Paramashivoham science. It is price $1,000, and the amount of knowledge, research, and kindling into the way and trial and error. We had to work with many people and try and bring out the solutions. What is working? How are they connecting with the science? How are they able to take the truths and express in the world? So many years, Swamiji has beautifully stitched together this Paramashivoham program and has given it to the world in a perfect way at the correct time. As Swamiji said, it is the best time to be living in this Chaturmas opportunity to live Swamiji's teachings through the Paramashivoham program, and as it is free for everyone. So share this information with as many people as you know. Let everyone know what's happening right now. It is something that you can join for free for only a limited time for the next 2 more seasons. That is up till the month of when Vijayadashami comes back, or October, November. And for this Chaturmasya, we're having exclusive. So we have another person joining us, Murli Nithyanandam. He repeatedly asks us to the seeking alive. What should we seek out for? That's a very important question. Seeking that there is possibility for me to come over my struggles, for me to be able to experience a higher realm of awareness, consciousness, to experience my very body in a different way, to be rejuvenated and breathe in a very different way, to be continuously feeling life is for me. These are all powerful cognitions that are possible for us to have and live as a truth. And Swamiji is just an example of that. If you just see how he radiates every moment as something new and comes out and shares with us the revelations of Paramashiva directly from the source itself, you can see how he himself is keeping the seeking alive. And actually, we have a final clip that we wanted to end today's segment on. This one, he shares exactly the very DNA of the enlightened incarnation, and how it is possible for us to have the same thing just by having Swamiji in our life. Digitally, you may have Swamiji in your life. That's actually more than enough in itself. Having that and seeing him, seeing his satsangs, and just taking all of this content and then living it in your life, making the decisions as his guidance, is the way that you can yourself build the Kailasa within and around you. So let us take a look at the final clip that we have for all of you today. And thank you all for continuing with us and sharing in the comments. Let us take a look at the final clip before we conclude.
And one more thing, after the 12th is awakened, there are hundreds of new layers opens up. That is what, the new layers when it opens up, that is what is Purnavatara. Means that so many different truths and revelations constantly being revealed to the world. Constantly being shared to the world. So actually, now we can make this whole thing as a simple medical test. We can see how many strands of your DNA is awakened and give you the report. Are you going through depression? See, 3rd is awakened, 4th is getting awakened. Don't eat my head. Go. I am not interested anymore in sitting and consoling you. And I am not interested anymore in sitting and talking to you. And even after I talk, you think I am consoling you. I am not interested in consoling you. I have the medical report, get out. Go and do the next job. We'll make it very clear. Because it's all science, simply provable. Simply provable. I think first we will prove, working on my DNA, that 12 strands are awakened. When that is clearly proved, then this whole science is proved. And I will clearly reveal, when you cross the lust, the 3rd strand is awakened. When you cross the fear, the 4th strand is awakened. When you cross the unknown feeling, whether fear or lust, you don't even know, the 5th strand is awakened. When you cross the suffocation, which you can't even call as a fear or insecurity or greed, you can't name it, but just you are angry. You are just angry at everything. Especially it will be usually directed towards me only. Because I am the only person who is constantly seen by your eyes and gets recorded. So it's like when you look at this light for 2 seconds and close your eyes, you will see the imprint of that light inside. You will see the negative of that light inside. Same way, naturally, constantly you are seeing me only. So when you close your eyes, you will see the negative of me inside and put the blame on me. So the fighting with Master, that is the time that 6th strand is getting awakened. So now we will make all this as a medical test. If somebody is depressed, yeah, send the DNA for test, that's all. And no appointment. Till the DNA report comes, no appointment. And if the DNA report comes, I don't even need to talk. Now you know, go, do next. That's all. I tell you, surely within 1 or 2 years we will make this whole thing as science. Then the mass production of enlightenment can happen. It doesn't need to be like a one by one, piece by piece. Mass production can happen. It's only that final tattooing we will do piece by piece. See, the body will produce in mass. We need to have some uniqueness, so we will just have a tattoo. Yes. The tattooing we will do in unique way. But the production can become mass. That is what I am saying. Huge number of indigo kids are landing on the planet Earth. That's one thing. Second thing, systematically the mass production of an enlightenment science is landing on the planet Earth. I am the Vastu engineer and new builder. The Vastu engineering means that altering the existing building is the science I am talking. This awakening the different strands of DNAs. And I am very clear, I am very confident, I am very sure, simply we can prove all these things. Simply we can prove, because no way these guys can have the insights I am having. It is simply their scientific explanation. So I know for sure their scientific explanation simply matches with my insight. And we will just create a system of mass production of enlightenment. Mass production of enlightenment. And I think this is the way we are going to really help the 2012 happening. We are going to be the great help to the human consciousness, to elevate the human consciousness in this way only. This kind of way only, we are going to be a big help to the human consciousness for 2012. So the essence is three things. First, see who am I. The personality which can be changed is not you. So dig, then who am I? When you feel you are hitting the dead end or suffocation, increase the seeking, intensity, passion, and look again. When I say again, again and again and again and again, till you awaken the next strand of DNA, next strand of DNA, next strand of DNA. I bless you all. Let all 12 strands of DNA be awakened in all of you, and let you all achieve and radiate enlightenment. Let you all achieve and radiate the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you.
Beautifully, Swamiji has given the practical solutions, and all of it is centered also in our very seeking. And before we end today, we thank you all for joining us in this discussion, Vakyartha Sada session, for a beautiful understanding about the super DNA that we all carry, and by the grace and blessings and the presence of Swamiji in our lives, we're able to experience that as a reality, in fact. And Murali Nagarajan is asking, I don't understand anything of what Swamiji told us with the apple. So what he's telling us with the apple actually is to understand that he cognizes himself as more than just the apple that is seen, as well as the face of the apple that is unseen, as well as the various different components and aspects of different apples behind. That is the way he's sharing. He's saying that ourselves as from the face value of what we see on the outside, but the unknown component us also exists, that is Paramashiva, that is there within us. And also that Paramashiva component is not what we think it is something so vast that has possibility of being multiple apples at a time. So if hopefully that is a short way to explain that there is a component inside of us that is the unknown, that is like how he's showing that is behind the apple, that is the dark side, the behind the apple, that is not visible. That unknown component is there inside of us, that is our true nature, that is Paramashiva. And that is what we must cognize ourselves from, conduct our life from, and move ourselves from. And that is what we realize in the Paramashivoham program, where all of the studies, even how Swamiji is saying that he can make this enlightenment into some kind, into a mass production. And that is literally what is happening inside the Paramashivoham sessions, where enlightenment is just being taught, and it is really becoming a part of everyone's lifestyle. And that is why you should definitely find yourself in the Paramashivoham program sessions, and don't miss the sessions, and of course don't miss the darshan today. Beautifully, the darshan of Ananda Nataraja is going to be happening. So it's a beautiful darshan that you all should be a part of. So we will catch you again before the darshan, where we'll be discussing about Ananda Nataraja as we prepare ourselves to receive Swamiji on this auspicious day. Today is also the Rudra nakshatra, a special nakshatra that is very unique to Nataraja. It is in the month of Margari, in the Mrigashirsha month, when under the nakshatra of Rudra, that Nataraja, he very manifests in the cosmos, where he comes and does the cosmic dance, and is celebrated in a grand way in the Chidambaram Nataraja temple and in all of the temples of Kailasa. So that is why Rudra nakshatra is special to Nataraja Swami, and today being Rudra nakshatra, we will be receiving Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in the session today evening in his darshan. So thank you all for joining us, and please don't miss the sessions and the darshan today of Paramashivoham. So let us end today's session with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nithyananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu. Om Nithyanandam.
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.